That's it. We're done. Week 9 is in the books. Wow. This Texas high school football season is flying by. We got a really good show for you tonight, so stay tuned. We got highlights, scores, analysis, and a few coaches' interviews. We'll get to hear from Coach Crane about the Central Bobcats' first loss of the district tonight. Came against the Midland Legacy Rebels. But before we get into all that, let me introduce my partner here in crime, James Bellini. James, how'd your night go?
Good night. Had some heartbreakers out there. The playoff picture is starting to come into focus a little bit, and we should have some matchups, some playoff matchups coming up soon. We're gonna get into it.
I think we're finally seeing now, because we got about 2 games left. Everybody's got 2 games left. We're finally seeing who's in and who's out, and who's the team that are for real and who's the team that is not for real.
A lot of districts are kind of top heavy too. They're either really good or not as good. So let's get into it.
I'm in. All right. Well, before we get into any of this, I want to let you guys know that this show is brought to you by the Autoplex. Right now, you can get the real Brotherhood of Muscle right here, the 2022 Dodge Durango GT Plus. Texas residents get $1,500 cash allowance plus $750 bonus cash allowance when you finance through Chrysler Capital. Hurry now, because this offer, it's so spooky, it's going to disappear like a ghost on Halloween. That's right, this offer ends on October 31st. Go see them, 4310 Sherwood Way at Sherwood Way at Southwest, or give them a call, 325-284-3032. All right, James, we're going to get into our first game, and of course, it is the Central Bobcats. They took on the Legacy Rebels. We're going to go start to finish, just in case you haven't seen it all, so stay with us. Here we are. First play for the Rebels right here, or first drive for the Rebels, I should say. Touchdown. And the points came fast and in a hurry.
Yeah, Legacy came into this game with some purpose.
We saw these already, it wasn't just in the air, it was on the ground. Here's one that's in the air. I think at this point it was 14-0 at this point. So they jumped out to a lead early. Bobcats didn't exactly give up, though. We'll talk to Coach Crane a little bit about how he thought his team effort was down the stretch. James, what do you think was just kind of the main component of this Midland Rebel offense just pounding on the defense?
I think Central has a tough time stopping those big plays down the field, those big explosive plays, and you saw it there. They're just outplaying those defensive backs.
Well, here's a good play right here from Central. This was about one of the top plays that they had all night. Just a deep bomb right there. It's going to get all the way to about the 25-yard line. They were able to capitalize on this drive right here. And that's one thing we did see, James. We did see offense from both sides. So what can we say that was positive, I guess, about the Bobcats tonight?
Tyler Hill had some good runs. And they had some big plays down the field. It just wasn't enough. Just wasn't clicking for them tonight. And let's face it, Legacy's a really good team. They're by no means a pushover. We know that they came in like 3-4 at this point in the season, but they're not a bad team by any means.
Here's a field goal right here by the Bobcats that they had to settle for in the first half. That's still a pretty far field goal, so your kicker wants to get those reps in. As much as you want to score touchdowns, it may be good to get those reps in. We may need them down there in the playoffs sometime.
Yeah, there goes another run. Just Legacy just manhandling them up front.
Here's a nice double pass they tried to pull off, but Emler just put a little too much sauce on the end of it. They were trying to get in the end zone right there before the half ended. They weren't able to do it, though.
But right here, Legacy, he'd drop back, and they'd get home. They would strip the ball, but take the ball back. But there was like 3 seconds left on the clock, or a second.
Refs went ahead and called it that halftime, so didn't even get a chance at it.
Yeah, this isn't college or pros. They're not going to sit there and review everything.
Right. Here's one of those good runs we were talking about by Tyler Hill. This thing was probably about 50 yards, and it goes all the way in for a touchdown. Gotta love Tyler Hill, what he can do all over the field, whether it be his legs or his arms. He's always scoring. But, of course, holding call for the Bobcats, so it's going to be taken back, no touchdown.
Here goes another run for Legacy, just up the middle.
Yeah, that was kind of the problem.
Yeah, their defense was out there a lot tonight. they're pretty worn out by the end of the game, I'm sure.
Yeah, long drives, but man, that Legacy offense just kept pounding and pounding and pounding on them. Here's a good look by the Bobcats here. Just a little screen pass, and he'd find his way up, and that's going to get all the way to about, I don't know, the 10-yard line.
They're about 5 yards short of what they needed. fourth down come.
And let him score.
Yeah, this was on the next drive, though. This was on the next Bobcat drive.
Oh, okay.
Tyler Hill would get in again. And we've seen, though, when that was my bad right there. When Central is playing well and they're running the ball well, they're winning games. I think Chadwick came in and said they only had like 30 rushing yards up to at halftime at one point. So, when they get out of there, there's an interception he threw there towards the end of the game. That sealed it. What was the score? 42 to.
I think 56 to 20.
56 to 20 something.
56 to 20. So it was a little bit out of hand for the Bobcats tonight. But you know what? First loss in district so far. They beat a couple teams. We're going to have 2 more games to see how they end up faring to the rest of the conference there. They got to play Odessa Permian. They got to play Friendship. So
Permian didn't play that good last week. They had to resort to throwing the ball. And they lost to Legacy. And this week they had a heck of a time trying to control Friendship. We'll get more into that later. But let's move on. What's our next game here, Matt?
Before we do, though, we're going to go to Coach Kevin Crane there.
My bad.
Ryan Chadwick's got an interview with him. So here is head coach of the Central Bobcats, Kevin Crane.
All right, I'm here with head coach Kevin Crane. Tough loss tonight, coach, but y'all never stop fighting to the very end. I know all the fans at home are all proud of y'all. I know I am. First half started off on a little bit of a rough spot with that fumble. How did that change the entire outcome of the first half?
Yeah, it was a tough break. I mean, we had a good return. The guy stripped it, and they got the ball. It was a hard way to start. And kind of started slow offensively, got behind the 8-ball. Then we had some explosive plays and kind of got back in it. We had a couple opportunities to score at the end of the first half. We got one field goal out of it, and then one. We got a penalty and backed up and didn't get any points, so that hurt us. Just overall, made too many mistakes offensively to come out on top.
Speaking of explosive plays, though, there was several receivers that just balled out tonight. Like, how did you feel seeing that your offense still responded even when y'all were down by 3 scores?
Yeah, it was good. I mean, we have a lot of fight, and they played hard, and we got some good receivers. Obviously, did some good things. Overall, we just made too many mistakes. And against a good football team like that, you got to play mistake-free, and we weren't quite able to do that tonight.
So, Coach, what is your message to your guys after a loss like this moving into next week?
We got to flip the script. It doesn't get any easier. Got to flip the script, kind of have amnesia about this one. Watch the film, learn from it, and try to get better from here.
All right, Coach, thank you.
Coach Kevin Crane, it's got to have some respect for a coach that will come on the show for a quick little interview after a loss, because especially a tough loss like that, the Bobcats have been playing so good for so many weeks, so it definitely is a tough one there for the Bobcats tonight. It's going to be a long ride home, but knowing the Cats, they will be ready to go next week as they going to go. Are they here?
They are here against Permian next week.
Here against the Permian Panthers, so be on the lookout for that. Also, be on the lookout for this man, Davis Woodfin. He's a financial advisor at Edward Jones, and at Edward Jones, they're making sense of investing. He's a financial advisor, and you can see him at 4102 South Jackson Street, or you can give him a call at 325-249-0082. That's Davis Woodfin, the financial advisor at Edward Jones at 4102 South Jackson. Give him a call, 325-249-0082. All right, moving on to our next game. We are going to stay in the Little Southwest Conference because there was some drama. I mean, back and forth and back and forth. If y'all watched our halftime show, y'all saw Friendship was up big at halftime. Well, here's a news flash. The Friendship Tigers lost by 1 point. So, with that, here's a full highlight tape. The Friendship Tigers, they started hot. Their quarterback, maybe the best quarterback in the Little Southwest Conference, Hud Hutchinson, making a move and going to score right there. He had over 250 yards in this first half. And that's not even including what he did on his feet. Here's a good example on what he can do. Split the guys right there. Follow your the butt of your guard there. Take it in for the end zone, into the end zone to score. That make it 7-0. Next possession after a 3-and-out by Odessa Permian. Just a long ball from Hutchison. And he find his man going down the sideline. Touchdown.
Kid can sling it.
14-0 at this point, but here comes the Panthers. A handoff here to the left. Going to bounce it all out to the outside. Plenty of room. Reach out and touchdown. That would make it 14-7 at this point. Here we go. He's trying to send a man over here in motion. Goes up the field, looks for him, throws a dart, and touchdown. 21-7 at this point. Friendship Tigers.
Permian been down before, though. You know, that's one thing we gotta remember. Permian has been down, and they've had to fight back out of their holes they've been in.
Here is a hole that he had to fight his way through to get out of right there, James. Speaking of, that is a Permian Panther touchdown through the right side. That would be the first play of the second quarter. That would make the score 14-21, I believe, at this point. But this one right here would make it 28. Scrambles out to the right side, finds his man, throws it down the field, just catches it in the corner, spins around to the outside. Touchdown. 28-14 at this point. And right after this, it looked like Friendship would have to punt and turn the ball over for the first time. Give it back. But luckily for their return team, looks like we're going to get a little special teams magic. Makes the fumble, gets on top of it. Friendship's ball with a minute left in the second quarter. Right before the second half gets going, though, Friendship got a little tussle right there for the ball. Nonetheless, Friendship's football.
They won't go down, that's for sure. This Friendship has some fight in them.
Yeah, they start off really hot. 2 weeks in a row, started off really, really hot. Here we go. Here's that last play from the half. Hutchison rolls out to his left, plenty of green grass, and just walks it in. Basically, it would make it 35-14 at halftime. But here comes the Panthers. Just a handoff right there to the fullback. Bounces off one. Keeps trucking all the way in. Almost. Gets it to about the 2-yard line. Next play. Quarterback keeper. Right under center. Push him through. Oh, just kidding. That's a handoff to the running back. That's going to make it 21-35. Here on the next one. Odessa Permian doing something they don't usually do. That's throw the rock. And they finds his man. Gets on the 2-yard line. Can't score on the next play. But 2 plays later, just a handoff to the running back. And that's going to make it 28-35. Would they come back? I don't know. But Friendship is here to say not yet. A long ball right there. Jump ball. Cornerback falls down. He runs it all the way in for a touchdown to make it 41 after they didn't get the extra point. Right there, reaches over. That'll make it 41-35, Odessa Permian. And then here is the winning touchdown by the Panthers. Hands it off to his running back, makes one miss. Dives right there, gets the extra point, 42-41. The Odessa Permian Panthers beat the Friendship Tigers with a comeback performance. James, oh my gosh, this is a crazy, crazy game. Probably the craziest game we've seen so far this year. What do you think?
We've seen Permian down before in big games. They've hung around, fought their way back, and ended up winning. I think they did against Tascosa. And this Friendship team, this is a scary team. You just see those receivers; they're not afraid to go up and get it, and that quarterback's not afraid to throw it either. I think they play Central in the last week, and if it's coming down to seed and Central needs to get out of that, one of those needs to get that spot or whatever, it could be a hell of a game. So
him and Tyler Hill going against each other, I think that's a matchup we'd all love to see.
Yeah, it's going to be a 70-71 game like we were talking about, earlier. This is going to be.
I'm in, and what a crazy! I mean, what a crazy way! I'm telling you, I wouldn't want to go play in Friendship. That's for sure, because man, they knocked off Midland Legacy there. They almost did the same thing to Permian. I guess that Wolford Friendship crowd is just a little bit crazy. All right, that right there will do it for our little Southwest Conference. Go ahead and go down to Angelo Bolton Industrial Supply at 808 Warehouse Drive for everything you need, including nuts and bolts and all kinds of screws. But they also have power tools as well, like some from Milwaukee and DeWalt. So you got to go check them out. They also got the best prices, too. That's Angelo Bolton Industrial Supply at 808 Warehouse Drive. All right, James, moving to our next game, we will be going down to Big Springs as the Big Springs Steers and Lakeview Chiefs battled it out to see who could maybe squeeze into that last playoff spot. And with that, here is Ernesto Rodriguez.
Less than a minute before kickoff, the Chiefs did not win the toss. Big Springs Steers won. They decided to defer and take the ball in the second half. And now the Chiefs are getting ready to take the field as they are the visiting team in white. Here you go, San Angelo live. Chiefs fans here on their feet, hoping for a victory. Their team can win it on the road and beat these Steers, which has a pretty good home crowd as well. And there comes the Chiefs, making it out the tunnel, getting to their respective sidelines. They are fired up. So after a horse collar tackle with 5:55 to go, ball is going to be spotted inside the 10 for the Steers. Steers are ready to run this thing. They pitch it to the right, and he gets in for a touchdown. First score of the game, 6-0, Big Spring Steers. All right, so here we are. It is halftime in Big Spring. The Lakeview Chiefs are trailing the Big Spring Steers 7-0. So far, it has been a defensive battle. Each team has a couple turnovers that they were able to generate. And if it wasn't for a Lakeview turnover, the Big Spring Steers got great field position. They started at the 47-yard line and managed to take it in for a score. Fortunately, the Chiefs were down at the 2-yard line right at the end of the first half. The defense held and did not allow the Big Spring Steers to get in. So that's where we're at right now, as the Lakeview Chieftain Band is taking the field first, since they are the visiting team here. We do have a Lakeview crowd on site. Fans did drive all this way to Big Spring, but we are looking forward to a second half. We'll see how it goes. We'll see if we're going to get the playoff now. After a timeout, 5 minutes and 1 second to go. It's 4th and 9 for the Chiefs. They are at the 46-yard line on their side of the field. And the quarterback is lined up to take it. Basically, it's a reverse. And he throws it. It's almost intercepted. What? Was that a catch? We'll see if it touched the ground. After a run play, Big Spring goes with a quick snap. Has nobody in front of him but one person. And it's another touchdown. Our 1st and goal at the 3-yard line for the Steers. Lakeview is backed up now. Their backs against the wall. Down 7 after an amazing kick return touchdown. Big Spring has it. Quarterback hands it off. Running back gets inside. And it is now 20-7. Big Spring. Hands to the face penalty. It's now 1st and 25. Chiefs are backed up, going back to the 37-yard line. They do have the ball, trying to score here, trying to stay in this game. A little over 6.5 minutes. Quarterback is in shotgun, and he takes it, looking to his right, and he throws an interception. That's another Big Spring turnover. So that is a wrap. Here is the Big Spring Steers Band with the school song after defeating the Lakeview Chiefs 21-7 at home in Big Spring. It was all defense for the most part. You had turnovers. There was going for it on 4th down by both teams. The only score Lakeview was able to manage was a kick return touchdown. However, they were only down by 1 score, but it just continued where they just couldn't get too much going. They tried everything they could. There was a pass that was called incomplete. However, the replay clearly showed that he caught it. Unfortunately, replays are not allowed, so we did upload it. I do have it, and it is on the drive. But bottom line was, this was a district game. Lakeview Chiefs, they came here to play. They didn't give up. Even after the last game, they fought hard. They did everything they could. They left it all on the field, and it's unfortunate to come out and not win it, but at the same time, we are San Angelo Live, Cover1 Football, giving you the action here live in Big Spring, and we appreciate you guys tuning in. And it was a hard-fought game, but both teams, again, they show sportsmanship. This is about respect. This is about doing everything you can do to play a game.
That's right, and that's all they can do is go out there and play as hard as they can. That's all you can do. You can only play who's on your schedule and play them as hard as you can. James, they fell tonight a little bit short. I know you're sometimes a Lakeview critic, so give it to me straight. What the Lakeview Chiefs do tonight, and what do they got to look forward to the rest of the season?
Tonight, I mean, you just got to put it behind you. You got to put the loss behind you. You're not out of it yet. You know, there's one game left. Anything can happen. You know, you're playing Lubbock Estacado. They're a tough team. But
not impossible.
You win that game, and maybe Big Spring loses a couple games. Maybe you can figure out a way to get into the playoffs. Yeah. But you're not gonna get there without it being a fight. You know, and
got to find a way to win.
That's just that. Yeah, you got to find a way to win. You know, but we've seen over the couple weeks that they are willing to put plays together, but you know, you fumble it, you throw an interception.
Yeah.
You got to limit those mistakes, and they just didn't limit them enough tonight. And Big Spring's got the win. Moving forward, you got to move forward. You got to move past it, be a goldfish.
There you go. All right, guys, the Lakeview Chiefs highlights tonight were brought to you by Double Dave's Pizza. That's right, their pizza of the month is the Slow Burn this month. It's a hand-tossed pizza. It's got red sauce, ricotta, fresh mozzarella, pepperoni, diced jalapenos, and the best sauce you can probably get on the market right now. It's called Mike's Hot Honey. It's so delicious. Go down there and give them a call or give it a try. They're in the Southwest Plaza at the corner of Knickerbocker and Sunset, or go hit them up online or over the phone, however you like to order your pizza. All right, moving on to our last game of the night, then we're going to get into some scores. But the game was a blowout. It was between the Sterling City Eagles and the Water Valley Wildcats. James, I'll let you take this one.
All right, Water Valley, Sterling City, they were 6-man last year. Now they're 11-man. Here you have Ty Turner just taking the ball, looking around. He's going to end up finding Johnny Monreal over on this near sideline. Or Jonathan Monreal. He's going to get up and, decent gain there. Here you go. Here comes another snap out of what was that, like a bone? He's going to roll out. And then he's going to get a good pass into, that's Tristan Himes. Coach Cisco's really high on that kid. He does everything right for him. Ty Turner's going to roll out. Bang it up into the end zone for a touchdown. There you go. Sterling City's up. Here you go. Water Valley is moving the ball. Throw an interception, Tristan Himes. Like I said, everywhere does everything right. Going to take it back for 6. I believe that made it 14-0 or 16-0. Sterling City driving again. Ty Turner's going to find his running back, number 4. I don't know number 4's name. He's not in the roster. Here you go. Water Valley takes the snap. Going to roll out, and he's going to throw it, and he's going to throw an interception. There he is, number 4 again. Just making plays for him. Water Valley was just outmatched in this one. They just got beat. And Sterling City is a really good team. They're nothing to shake your head at. There you go, another 2-yard run for Ty Turner. Here comes another interception. Going to run it back to the house, number 10.
It was just kind of a tough game, a kind of a lopsided game for the Eagles in this one, huh, James?
Yeah. Water Valley just has a lot of stuff to work on. They're new to this 11-man. I think they were 6-man a lot longer than Sterling City was 6-man, and they've got growing pains. First-year head coach there in Sterling City. They got consistency at the coaching position. They have a lot of experience, even though it was 6-man experience. They still have all that, and it's just a process for them. I'd like to see how this district plays out. At the end there was a little scuffle, but
Yeah, got a little chippy
Got a
there.
little
But
chippy
you know
there at
what?
the
With
end.
those guys being so close to each other, there's no surprise.
there's
love
probably
lost there.
brothers out there or cousins out there that don't
Yeah.
like each other.
Yeah.
I think they can get away with it because they're family.
There you go.
But
Well, either
they
way,
just got beat there.
It was just it was a tough game for the Water Valley Wildcats. But all props go to the Sterling City. They moved to what is that, 2-1 in district so far?
I think it's 3-1 in district.
3-1 in
They're-
district.
they're
yeah,
further in district than other
loss, so
teams.
they're definitely still in the hunt to win this championship. Another team in that district is El Dorado. Do we know who won that one?
El Dorado won that one.
And what about Wink and McCamey? Do we have
That one was in-
because there's a third quarter score of 28-21, and that one right there will probably be the winner of the district. Whoever wins that one, if they stay undefeated, I guess. So while he's looking that up,
Oh, Wink 42, McCamey 28. So Wink is ahead there. Wink is ranked. They're ranked number 4 in the state. They're a very good team. But McCamey's making this a game for him. McCamey's probably going to be that second team.
yeah.
and the-
so thinking, Wink, McCamey,
Right.
and then we're thinking Sterling City, El Dorado.
Sterling City, El Dorado.
Whoever
They
wins
still have
that
to
one.
play each other.
Yeah.
I think they played each other in the last week. So that'll be a really good game to watch. But
Yeah, I'm
it's
in.
probably going to be one of those 4 teams making it. And it's probably going to, I'll put money on it right now. Wink, McCamey, Sterling City, El Dorado, I think is how it's going to go.
El Dorado, Sterling City.
Okay.
All right.
What were your picks tonight, Matt? How'd you do in the
we're
picks
not
tonight?
we're not talking
Oh,
picks
okay.
right now. We're talking about futures here. Speaking of future, man, go ahead and go down to the Autoplex here in the near future. But you better hurry before October 31st because that's when this deal's going to end. This is the Brotherhood of Muscle right here, the 2022 Dodge Durango GT Plus. Texas residents get a $1,500 cash allowance plus $750 bonus cash allowance when you finance through Chrysler Capital. Hurry up, this offer ends on October 31st, so go see them there at 4310 Sherwood Way at Southwest, or give a call, 325-284-3032. All right, James, moving on to the end of the show, but, the way we like to do it, and that would be the got a little phone action there. The scores page brought to you by Angelo Bolt. I'll get it going. Brownwood up against Staccato. The Matadors lose to the Lions, 52-14. Brownwood. Alpine Odessa Compass, 41-7. Alpine. Wink and McCamey, we talked about this one, 35-28. What was the updated score?
42-28. 42-28. Wink
now.
for Wink.
That's right. Water Valley, Sterling City, 42-14, Sterling City. Millsap and Eastland, 28-41, Millsap wins. El Dorado put it on Iran tonight. The Eagles win 42-0. At the same time, James is saying they're going to get 4th place in the district. Lorraine,
That's still
Blackwell,
an
28-8. Lorraine, Sonora and Anthony, 48-6. Anthony drove 400 miles to get that butt kicked by the Sonora Broncos, 48-6. Big Spring and Lakeview, we showed you highlights on this one, 21-7. Steers win. Midland Legacy, 56. San Angelo Central, 29.
Brady 54, Ballinger 26. That one was tight at halftime, and Brady ended up pulling that one out. Iowa Park over Vernon, 28-25. Panther Creek over Moran, 41-0. Odessa Permian over Friendship, 42-41. Midland over Odessa, 41-31.
That one's important. That may be the
That
last.
is important.
So that may make Odessa the loser of the Little Southwest Conference right there.
All right, Stanford over Anson, 44-6. Cross Plains over Hamlin, 54-19. Jim Ned over Breckenridge. Jim Ned started off 0-3, and they've got hot. And I guess they got some guys healthy. They beat Breckenridge 32-25.
That's what we like to see right there. Clyde and Bowie, 21-14. Bowie. Ozona and Reagan County. Reagan County is rolling through this district right now, James. 39-7, winning 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, they won last week too.
Yeah, Jacksboro and Merkel, 50-7. Jacksboro. Comanche and Dublin, 77-7. Comanche. Menard and Very Best, 54-8. Very Best did not play the Very Best tonight. Robert Lee, Erie and County, 54-8. Erie and County. Talar and Banks, 57-0. Talar. Early in Grape Creek, they're trying to get that very first win of the season. Failed tonight, 69-0. Early wins. Albany and Roscoe, 55-0. Plowboys are out and about on that one. Mason and Junction, 60. Punchers win against Junction.
Forsan beat Cristobal 14-6. That one was 0-0 for the longest time.
You notice I tossed you on that one?
I did notice. And I thought you did that on
It wasn't
purpose.
intentional. No, it wasn't intentional.
Whatever. Stockdale, they're a good football team. Stockdale over Harper, 53-6. Hawley over Olney, 34-7. Miles over Abilene TLCA 81-0.
It's a nice win right there. You think
That is a
you
nice
think the
one.
backups played?
Maybe.
You think?
Colorado City over Winners 38-8. Wall over San Angelo TLCA 55-0. Cherokee over Rochelle 70-20. Bront over Trent 64-7.
Rising Star Paint Rock 50-0. Rising Star. Richland Springs and Brooke Smith had to cancel, and so did Tornilla and Crane. Those are our scores page brought to you by Angelo Bolt. Go see those guys today at 808 Warehouse Drive. And, of course, you can see all the scores plus more at our scores page, which is sanangelolive.com/scores. All right, James, it's been fun. It's been real. We're about to go do our final thoughts, but before we do, I want to bring Ryan Chadwick in really quick and let him get his final thought in. Here's Ryan Chadwick.
Well, we're back here at Astound Broadband Stadium with a different story than the last time we were here last time. I'm Joe Hyde. Standing in front of me, the guy you see on the camera is Ryan Chadwick, our Bobcat specialist. The San Angelo Central Bobcats lost 56-29 tonight to Midland Legacy. It was a hard-fought game. Ryan, everything you said before the game said you can't have any mistakes. We had mistakes. We also had trouble completing passes in a lot of terms, and also I saw a lot of stops on the run. So let's just start from the beginning. It started looking hopeful at the beginning, and then went downhill from there after the half.
Well, Joe, before the game, on the pregame show, I said Central's got to play a perfect game. Can't have turnovers. We got to sustain long drives. We got to control time of possession. And Central literally did none of those things tonight. So Tyler Hill ended up with 2 interceptions, and of course, Bobcats fumbled the opening kickoff after a great return that would have set the Bobcats up with that excellent field position. I was talking to head coach Crane in the post-game interview, and he echoed those exact same words. He says, you can't make that many mental mistakes as a football team and expect it to be a team as good as the Midland Legacy Rebels. These are last year's district champs. We know how good they are. We know how good they can be, and they showed that again tonight. So when I asked, what do you say to your team after a loss like this? Coach Crane told me, you just got to have amnesia, right? We got to move forward. We got to flip the script. We got to get ready for next week because the schedule gets no easier. And, of course, we know that. Bobcats are hosting the Odessa Permian Panthers next week, a team that also gave these Legacy Rebels a run for their money. So if the Bobcats play a cleaner game, then we're going to fare better against the Panthers. But tonight there was just too many mistakes all over the place. On defense, we did stop them in the end zone. We had a takeaway of our own, but like I said, with the additional interceptions from Tyler Hill, like we couldn't ever, get over that final hurdle to get back into it.
But at the same time, Midland Legacy had their own mistakes, particularly with penalties. And we haven't added up all the penalties right now, but I mean, there's some unsportsmanship conduct out there. There's just a lot of penalties that we failed to capitalize on.
And that's just right, Joe. Several times, Midland Legacy was backed up inside their own 10-yard line because on a couple of kickoffs here and there, like there were several taunting calls, several unsportsmanlike conduct calls from a squad by Coach Hartman that you don't usually see. I was actually really surprised that Legacy was getting so many unsportsmanlike conduct penalties. But yeah, they overcame those, and the Bobcats couldn't take advantage of them. Like you're faced, backed up in your own end zone. The defense has the advantage there, right? On more than one occasion, Legacy drove the ball 90 yards for a touchdown. So, you can't win games when you're playing like that. Legacy also had a problem with holding. Their running game was doing fine, but again, the Bobcats just never quite took advantage of that. They forced Midland Legacy into several 3rd and longs, and they could never get them off the field.
And the other thing that Legacy did well is any time they ran the ball, they got at least 5 yards. If you notice that, I mean, they were pushing our D-line right down the football field.
So, again, as I said on the halftime show, I think it has more to do with the defensive scheme than it did with the actual just getting physically dominated. There's 5 O-line and 3 down D linemen. Of course, the O-line are going to have the advantage in that situation. With that being said, Legacy's O-line is very strong. They're tough, and they're really good at opening lanes for their very talented running backs. And let me say, their running backs are very talented. There's a couple instances, I say a couple, it was more like all night, where it looked like the running back was going to be stopped for a 2-yard gain. He slips one tackle, and then all of a sudden it's what Joe was saying, at 5 yards, 10 yards, and sometimes even 25 yards, But yeah, so overall, tough sledding for the Bobcats on defense. They got to go back to the drawing board on this one, reorganize, regroup, have amnesia, just like Coach Crane says, because who else can run the ball incredibly well is those Mojo Panthers. So Bobcats need to do better about that.
One thing to be thankful for is we didn't have any major injuries. Like, Tyler Hill, he was playing toward the end. I know those Midland legacy players were gunning for him, and I was thinking, my goodness, if he gets injured. So thank God he made it out.
For sure. We did have injury on our offensive line. I didn't.
Jacob English also, number 85 on the offensive line.
So the offensive lineman, he got up on his own power. I'm sorry, I don't know his name off the top of my head, but Jacob English also looks like he might have tweaked that ankle again on a deep pass, but he came back into the game and he finished. So hopefully he's okay. Hopefully all the Bobcats are okay. And but yeah, like Joe said, escape with no major injuries. We're just going to reset and get ready for Mojo next week.
All right, back to you guys, Trammell.
Thank you, Ryan Chadwick. Thank you, Joe Hyde. I always loved the little inside between you two because you guys know how to let the people know what's going on. James, your final thought?
My final thought, Cristobal got beat. That was a big game there in Forsan Cristobal. That was, Sonora is still in the mix there, but that was probably the district championship. Cristobal still has Reagan County, who's playing pretty well, and Sonora to go. So get back on it. And I'd like to talk to Sonora right now. I went down there yesterday, talked to Coach Weston. He informed me that his brother had a death. His wife passed away. Thoughts and prayers go out to him and his family, his brother's wife's family and everything. So that's awful, terrible. So hope they can get through that.
Well, they did go ahead and get the win tonight, so shout out to the Sonora Broncos. Another team to shout out, that would be the El Dorado Eagles. They went and got the job done, but so did the Sterling City Eagles as well. So, that third and fourth spot, maybe even the second spot for district, for those guys are wide open. I guess we'll have to see how the end of it runs out. This has been the Cover1 post-game show. Of course, I'm Matt Trammell. You've been hearing James Bellini, and you've heard Ryan Chadwick and Ernesto Rodriguez. Also, you saw video from Joe Hyde and Jake Rollin, and you saw the scores page by, of course, Yantis Green. We want to thank you guys all for watching, and we want to thank our sponsors, All-American Chevrolet, the Autoplex, Angelo Bolt, Davis Woodfin at Edward Jones, Double Dave's Pizza, and Team and Investments. So for all of us here at San Angelo Live, we thank you for watching, and we will see you guys next